All right. Hello, Honors ELA 9. This is Mrs. Walker coming from my home to give you a lesson in English. You might hear some munching or crunching in the background. That is my dog, Bowie, and he is my teaching assistant for today. Okay, so this whole week we have been talking about how do people experience life at school? Okay, that's what we were reading about last week with the teacher who changed my life. That's what we read on the past couple of days with a story called Shame. And now we're going to read about a story that deals with school as well, and it also takes place in the past. The whole point of this is for you to learn that a theme, which is a universal message about life conveyed by an author. How does an author create a theme? Well, one way they create a theme is by putting characters against each other, okay? So we have a character and other characters say things to this character, and that affects our main character. And then we learn something from that. Think about life. That is why people tell stories. So you might have somebody say something to you and it affects you really negatively, and that teaches you a lesson about life. That's what authors do in stories all the time, is they have characters act against or say words against the main character, and it helps give us an insight into a theme that the author is trying to convey. So that is our goal for today, is that I can analyze how characters interact with other characters in order to develop a theme in a story. If we were at school, we would be making this on our writer's notebooks, but we're going to be using it on Google Slides so I can give you feedback for this today. So you're going to see that in Google Classroom, I have created a whole assignment slide. I actually really like doing this, so we probably do this when we're not writing in a writer's notebook. I like using Google Slides in this way. So we're going to be reading a story called American History, and then we're going to be completing these steps, which are our slides, for this assignment, okay? Let me talk to you about American history. I really love this story. It takes place in 1963, and it's centered on a huge event in American history, which was the assassination of John F. Kennedy. He was our president in the 60s. He was the youngest president at the time to ever have been elected. He was a champion for civil rights. He was making big changes in the United States, and then at kind of the pinnacle of his term, he was assassinated in in a parade in Texas, and on November 22nd, 1963. And this shook the nation. It's kind of like how way back in 2020, when we went into lockdown and everybody was like fighting over toilet paper, you remember where you were when people said we're not coming back to school for like, we don't know how long. That was an event that shook our nation, and the assassination of John F. Kennedy was an event that shook the nation in the 60s, okay? So this is our author, Judith Ortiz Coffer. She's telling a story about how a girl remembers this event in history, okay? And the other things that were going on in her life. So I'm very excited for you to read it. I'm going to post multiple ways for you to read it. You can read it out of a textbook that I have a PDF here. Then you could also read it. Here's the PDF. Okay. Then you can also listen to it on YouTube where somebody is reading this exact PDF. Okay. So those are your two ways to read this story. So let's move through this assignment. First, for 5 points, I want you to kind of be thinking about this essential question and review what we've been reading for the past couple of weeks, because I'm trying to move us through thinking about how are people treated at school as others, and we're reading lots of different stories about that. And then we're going to move on when we come back from e-learning into things outside of schools, okay? So question 1, review shame from the previous day. How was young Dick Gregory treated as an other in his classroom? How was his experience of school different from Nicholas Gage's? Okay, so this is going to be a response, just a short, quick write. It's 5 points. You must write in complete sentences. Y'all are honors, so I expect you to write in complete sentences and capitalize your I's, okay? Next, characters and theme. I give you a little message about my rundown about characters and theme for your notes, so go back to that. Now, you need to have read American history, and this is something called a cause and effect map. And I've made one in my writer's notebook because I'm just trying to keep track of everything we're doing and all of our thinking maps we're learning how to create. So in this, I give you the instructions here. It says, in the purple boxes provided, explain how each character had an effect on Elena. How did their words or actions impact her? Record a page number that references your answer to help you cite text evidence later. Okay, so we're going to have a character named Eugene. And then in this purple box, because blue plus red equals purple, what is Eugene's effect on Elena? Okay, you're going to record a page number to go along with your answer. Okay, Elena's mother is going to say some things to her that will come back to haunt Elena later. What is Elena's mother's effect on Elena? Okay, write a page number where you think that there are these words that are really impactful to Elena. And then we have Eugene's mother. She is going to say some really hurtful words to Elena. What does that affect on Elena? Okay, what does that affect on Elena? How does that impact her? Okay, that's what you want to write about, and then reference the page number either of the effect on Elena or the words that these characters said that impacted Elena either positively or negatively. Okay, for Eugene, think about how does this relationship with Eugene affect Elena? Okay, all right. From there, you're going to level up by developing a theme statement, which is more than one word because themes are always more than one word. And they're going to be based on these ideas. So we're really seeing these two thematic ideas play out in American history. The first one is dreams versus reality. Okay, so Elena is full of dreams. She loves to read. She loves to be imaginative. She has ambition and she has goals. But how is that different from her reality? What's a message about life that we can learn? What's Coffer trying to teach us about when your dreams don't line up with your reality? And then the next one is prejudice, okay? I give you the definition right here if you want to click on the link, if you're unfamiliar with that term. But basically, like, prejudice is an extreme dislike of a person from another group based on irrational feelings, okay? So how do we see prejudice play out in this story? Who is prejudiced against whom? Your theme statement, what is a universal message about life based on the above ideas? I want you to write a sentence that includes a theme statement. What I'm not looking for is prejudice or dreams. I'm looking for a statement, okay, that, going back to the ones that I gave you for shame, think about how I wrote those statements and see if you can come up with one. What is a message? What is a lesson about life based on these two ideas, dreams versus reality or prejudice? Okay, that's what I want you to write in this gray box for 2 points. Okay. Then we're going to do something called a tree map next. Okay, so our tree map here is where you're going to pick which character you want to focus on. So maybe you really are thinking, I want to focus on that interaction between Eugene's mother and Elena. Okay, you're going to pull your theme statement. So maybe you're going to think about a theme about prejudice. So maybe that, individuals can show prejudice when they don't want to learn from others. Okay, that's just something I came up with off the top of my head. Okay, that's what you're going to write down here is your theme statement. This is going to help build your claim. Okay, evidence. This is our data. This is going to be evidence to support this character interaction that's going to support our theme statement. You're going to go back to here and look up what was the page number you wrote down to get a strong, direct quote to help you support it. Make sure you cite your example. So if you got your page from, let's say it was 9, let's say you went to 972. I'm going to change that. Let's say that you went to 972. That's how I want you to start practicing your MLA in-text citations, okay? And then the next one is you're going to fill in this box called the warrant. Remember, this is what we're going for with CDW. Explain your evidence, what is happening here, and then justify how your evidence or why your evidence proves that the character interaction shows this theme. You are doing this work in this tree map to help you fill out this CDW chart, okay? So I give you a sentence frame to complete your claim. I give you the title and the author, your TA, and then I say Coffer conveys the theme blank. You might want to say the theme that blah 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 through Elena interacting with blank. That's where you're going to put the name of the character. Always provide a sentence explaining what is happening in the story where your quote occurs, and then you're going to write your quote. Always introduce your quote. I've done it for you this time, but I'm expecting it from you later. Coffer writes, comma, and then you're going to put your quotation mark, and you're always going to put that in text citation. Boom, you've already done that work. Okay? Then your warrant. Literally copy what you wrote here. Tweak it a little bit and make sure you're writing in complete sentences, but write your warrant here. Okay, this is how I'm going to grade you on your CDW is based on this rubric. Okay, I'm aiming for you to show attention to detail and fully answer the prompt, that you can identify the theme in your claim and how that interacts with a character, and that you're clearly explaining your data and you're justifying your claim. So that you have your data, your quote, and you're clearly explaining it and justifying it in your warrant, okay? That's what I'm looking for your CDW. I'm going to keep, giving you feedback, etc., okay? This is due, I'm going to type this huge on here. This is due Friday, and let me see. We have Friday the 21st. Friday, Jan 21st at 2022 at 3:15 p.m., which is the end of the school day, okay? So with that, that's your assignment to work on for today and for Friday. It's due at 3:15. And you're going to have your vocabulary test, and your homework is due tomorrow. So make sure that you have that done as well. Please let me know and reach out if you have any questions. Have a great day. Bye.